This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some major updates to share with you. With the economy just about to crash, what type of aid and help is going out to the American people? Well, there's a proposal of boosting Social Security by $2,400. Bernie Sanders in the past has promised $2,000 stimulus checks. And could senior citizens see their own stimulus check? With things getting a lot worse with inflation and higher costs, is there going to be more aid coming? I'll play you some video clips from Bernie Sanders talking about how more needs to be done. He gets really fired up. This is from the debate between Lindsey Graham and Bernie Sanders. You don't want to miss what he says there. I'll play you the counter argument from the Republican perspective, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, Bernie Sanders wants to up Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year by taxing the rich. This was a promise by President Biden, and Bernie Sanders is putting the pressure to raise it by $200 more per month for SSI, SSDI, basically all Social Security beneficiaries. Is this a good idea? Should it be more? Should it be less? Let me know your thoughts on that. Speaking of Social Security beneficiaries, stimulus checks to senior citizens, will they get one as inflation soars? So as prices are rising and getting really hard for anybody on fixed income, especially senior citizens or anybody on Social Security, disability, there's a lot of people suffering right now. Is there going to be a senior citizen stimulus check? To tell you the truth, at this point, there was pushes for it. There is still some pushing for it, but no politicians have endorsed it. Does that mean that it shouldn't happen or it can't happen? We're going to start to see a lot of different stimulus proposals or proposals in general closer we get to the midterm election. So I wouldn't be surprised if more politicians try to push for this coming closer to November. So we'll see about that. And then when it comes to pandemic stimulus checks, the good, the bad, and the to be determined. So let me go through this really quick. It's going over the pros and cons. So the pro, kept the economy out of deep recession, basically saying stimulus checks helped the economy from crashing completely during the pandemic because it gave people a lot of money. And then the con, likely helped spike inflation. Now they're saying here that all the stimulus money that went out to people, stimulus checks, payment, the PPP, unemployment, that could have caused inflation and the problem we're in right now. Do you believe that? Let me know your thoughts on that. The counter argument to that is saying that if inflation is happening on a global scale, then it couldn't have just been stimulus. And then also, pro, kept 11 million people out of poverty with all of the jobs being cut and basically the economy at a standstill with no money coming in and barely anybody having savings, basically saying here that it helped keep people out of poverty, especially with the child tax credit, helped a lot of families. And then the con, saying may have kept millions out of the workforce. So the unemployment checks stopped in September of 2021 for half the states, and the other half maybe stopped in early summer. So they're saying here that it stopped the workforce, which could have been true at the time, but workforce still isn't where it was pre-pandemic. And then pro, boosted bank savings and reduced credit card debt levels. This is true. So a lot of people put the stimulus checks into savings. They're able to pay down their credit card debt. And now at this time, credit card debt is at almost a record high, especially since things are getting really hard, prices are going up. And then the con, the government took on trillions in new debt, basically adding to the deficit and not helping out in terms of the, I think, close to $30 trillion that is owed. So it didn't help out with that, but it could have caused a short-term crash of the economy. So let me know your thoughts on all that. When it comes to other big stimulus checks, so Pennsylvania still has $2.2 billion in stimulus money. Does the state plan to send residents checks? Well, the governor right here, Tom Wolf, he wants to send $2,000 stimulus checks because there's $2.2 billion in stimulus money basically just sitting in an account. It's very similar to what is going on a federal level. There's about $800 billion sitting in a bank account from the COVID relief money that was basically withdrawn from the U.S. bank account into an account, and Congress, government, not really sure what to do with that. Some are saying it should be given out as stimulus checks. Some are saying it should be used for other type of provisions. But what are your thoughts on that? Should the $800 billion be used for $2,000 stimulus checks to every American. So in the past, Bernie Sanders presses Joe Biden on $2,000 stimulus checks, saying promises must be kept. Should that extra $800 billion be used now to avoid another crash, another recession, a lot of problems happening? Should it be used to help out people, maybe not just with stimulus checks, but other type of stimulus provisions? Let me know your thoughts on that. So very similar to what's going on in Pennsylvania. Tom Wolf wants to use that $2.2 billion to send it out in $2,000 stimulus checks. And then in the U.S., some are saying they want to send out $2,000 stimulus checks to the American people with the $800 billion. So speaking of Bernie Sanders, there was a debate between Lindsey Graham and Bernie Sanders, and not working. Graham tells Bernie to abandon Democratic agenda on Fox Debate. So basically, this debate was between Bernie Sanders and Lindsey Graham. I couldn't even find any clips of it. I was only able to find one video clip of Bernie Sanders. It happened yesterday. I'm hoping that as the day goes on, some more clips will be released, which I'll share with you in the future. But here is Bernie Sanders talking about what needs to be done and kind of bashing Lindsey Graham a bit. Take a look at this.
Hear him talking about are in fact the most important issues facing this country. That's what the establishment does. And Lindsey is a very good and effective representative of the establishment. Does Lindsey have a concern that we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people? That some 60,000 people a year die because they don't get to a doctor on time? I didn't hear much about that in that opening statement. Lindsey care that we have the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, and that the pharmaceutical industry right now has 1,500 paid lobbyists in Washington, D.C. to make sure that in some cases we pay 10 times more for the medicine that we need? Did Lindsey talk about the fact that we have in South Carolina and all over this country tens of millions of workers working for starvation wages? Did he talk about a corrupt political system in which billionaires today can start a super PAC? And I guess you have some familiarity with super PACs. They help fund your campaign. Who can spend unlimited amounts of money to elect candidates. You have the absurd situation where super PACs frequently spend more money than the candidates themselves. I didn't hear Lindsey talk about the crisis of climate change or the reality that scientists are telling us, not Bernie Sanders, Lindsey. This is what the best scientists in the world are telling us. We don't get our act together. The planet we're going to be leaving our kids and future generations will be becoming increasingly uninhabitable. We're talking about great cities like Charleston, South Carolina. You're aware of that. Neighborhoods flooding. There are people who are thinking that not only Charleston, but Miami, New York City will be half underwater by the end of the century. You got to talk about that. You got to talk about income and wealth inequality. Do you have a concern that two people own more wealth than the bottom 42%? Do you have a concern in terms of corporate concentration of ownership? You got 3 Wall Street firms now, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, who control $20 trillion in assets. They control hundreds and hundreds of corporations throughout this country. Bottom line is we are moving toward oligarchy.
You agree, disagree with Bernie Sanders? Let me know your thoughts on that. As mentioned, I will get the rebuttal from Lindsey Graham. Couldn't find any clips on that, but I want to get more clips from Bernie Sanders and Lindsey Graham to give you the counter argument. In place of Lindsey Graham, I found another counter argument. If the House and the Senate is taken over by Republicans in the midterm election in November of 2022, what is the Republican Party going to do about fixing all the problems that are going on in the country right now? Take a look at what Kevin McCarthy has to say about that.
People are Googling about gas prices. Moody's has shown us that now their families are spending $311 more per month. That's paying for a new car without getting the car. 64% of Americans are driving to the grocery store less because they can't even afford the gas to get there. And the Dems won't talk about it because they have no solutions.
So what would Republicans do? What will be different if in November, next January, when the new Congress is in place and it's a Republican majority in the House and let's say a Republican majority in the Senate, but Joe Biden is still president? What would be different?
Well, the first thing we take over the House, we're going to make a commitment to America. We'll lay out exactly what we'll do. We'll make America energy independent. They'll make the gas prices lower, put more money into your pocket. We will secure the border. The other thing we'll do is we'll make sure your streets are safe. We're going to go into these communities. We'll provide them cop grants only if their DAs uphold every single law. We'll provide a parent's Bill of Rights, that you have a right to say where your kids go to school and input into your kids' education. That's just the start of what we'll do.
What are your thoughts? Are these good solutions, bad solutions? Do you think what Kevin McCarthy said is going to turn the country around and help? Or are we just too far in a hole right now that we can't dig ourselves out for a long time? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I didn't see you there. Hi guys, this is Belle. This is the tip of the day. So I wanted to tell you something that you should do. Hi guys, what are you doing? Sorry, that's my sister. If you want to do something and you can't find something, you have to do what you want to do and make another something. If you can't do the first one, then go on to the next one, because you have to stay positive and good and have good relationships with some friends. And you should always be good enough. Bye. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Thank you for watching and for being a part of the Wise Flies community. I'm giving out $200 checks, details down in the description below. So hurt my knee a little bit and my toe playing pickleball, so I might have to take some days off, but I still have, I might play a little bit here and there, but I got a slight injury, been going really hard lately with pickleball, but everything else is good, can't complain. Hopefully things are good with you, and if you want to check out my latest video, my other channel, if you get really itchy, this hydrocortisone cream is really good, because with all the bugs biting now with mosquitoes, take a look at this video right here on my Wise Buys channel of this hydrocortisone cream. If you get itchy at all, it might help. Take a look. And take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.